Everyone, welcome back. Running a bit close to time, so I'm just going to be changing up some audio settings and stuff like that as I'm starting. Just getting everything sorted. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Ugh, right, on my own today for France. We just got into quali. It looks a bit dark. Doesn't look too bad. 16 drive. We should have more joining. I don't know why. We're at 16. We had 19 people check in, including 2 reserves. So we should definitely have a bit more coming along. Let's get all the settings sorted for you lot. Make sure the audio's all good. Yeah, don't want it too loud. To hover over my own voice, but I think we'll be all good now. Let's get the track map up, and we can see where people are at, who's coming out first, and so. Everyone's on soft. Obviously, it is a dry session, so we don't need to see any of that. I think there's a Mercedes out in front, so we'll jump on with him a minute, and we've got a Ferrari just behind him. Yeah, a bit of a cough today, so sorry if you hear me let one out every so often. Yeah, as I'm on my own today, I'm going to try off something. Right, Nicholas Latifi's in the session, so someone's obviously joined late and hasn't got a name, so we'll have to figure that out of who it is as we go along. We'll get back on board with Indian Jesus though, as he comes around to start his lap. We'll get onto the off-board, so the audio isn't as loud. I think it's a bit loud still at the moment, so let me just quickly change that a bit. I tell you what, this is so annoying, you know, because every time I go on to do one of my league races, I bloody forget that the sound's been changed, and it's just an absolute farce to get around. But yeah, as I was saying, because I'm on my own today, it's going to be quite a tough one. It's France. It's a long race, a long lap as well, not only just the race. So I'm in a party with a friend of mine, Bazza Fox, who is out on track now for Red Bull. And even though I'm in the party with him, so I don't just annoy him, but I do on my commentary while he's racing, I've got him blocked. And then if I do get to a point in the race where it gets a bit stagnant, I'll give him an unblock and we can jump in with him and see how his race is going and get a little bit of commentary from a live driver. I thought that'd be funky. Speaking of Red Bulls at the back, we've got a spinner and it's Bailey and all. Christ. What's he doing? Alright, anyways, back to Indian Jesus. Starting his lap. He's coming around. We've missed the first corner as we were taking a look at that spin, but as he comes around here, takes way too much apex, and that is the lap done already. But we've got Zenon, who is going to be the initial time setter if he can keep this one valid, unlike his competitor just ahead of him. Seems to be doing okay at the moment, just taking a nice... You don't have to push it on the first lap, you just got to make sure you can get a delta down. And that's purely it, you just need a delta, because when it comes to your final laps, having that green bar to let you know where you're going faster and where you're not is really influential on how you finish when you come up to the finish line. Looking alright though, it's a tight little lap, nothing too special. Obviously he did win in Saudi, so he's coming off a good bit of form, Arzenan. Yeah, there we go. So it was that guy Draper who joined late, I think, and has now taken over from the. I don't know why it called him Latifi when he was in Alfa Romeo. I didn't even clock on that until just now, but yeah, Zenon's still coming around the final corners now to set the initial lap of the session. We've got the Mercedes of Indian Jesus coming to the pits after invalidating prematurely. Nice little apex going into the last corner for the Ferrari. Nearly called it a Red Bull then. Just taking a nice straight, cutting off to the right a little bit for a 1:31.420. Not too bad. Let's see what others do. I think it is Jerry coming around the last corner. No, it's not. It is teammate. I've gone the long way around to do that. Sorry for your eyes. P4 at the moment, not setting a time, but he does jump Zenon by quite the margin there. About 4/10 there for the AlphaTauri driver. We've got the Red Bulls coming around now. Is it Bailey? It is Bailey. And then we've got Jay Hartnell just behind also. Bailey comes across to not set a very good lap compared to the Pulsar at the moment with a 1:31.4, and his teammate follows just behind as he did on track with about 2 tenths down on his teammate there, Riordan, going down to P5. Gautier Lefilon, 132.3, sitting him at P6 at the moment. Mazzles comes across for a 132.7. Victorine joins. Right, we're going to have to be careful with that because Victorine had some internet issues last week, I believe, so we'll have to keep an eye on that with him joining and disconnecting. Draper going P8, joining late. RPM Ritchie P7 for the Mercedes, the first of the two to set a lap after the big mistake from Indian Jesus, who's out on a lap now to try and correct it very quickly. RT connects, he's not had the best of luck in the last few races with internet connection and with spinning off, so hopefully he can do a bit better today as he's coming around now. I think he's on his lap. He's invalidated, so he's not setting a decent lap in the new livery of the McLaren. A lot of people are on out laps now. Some people are on in laps with all these lots setting their first ones. Got McLaren there letting people through. Quite conservatively. Anyway, good evening all. I just come off FIFA and I just packed Laurent Blanc in my icon pack and I'm kind of gassed. I was looking forward to like trying to fit my team around it. I thought, oh bloody hell, I got to be commentary, so jumped on this for France. So let's just hope there's not many safety cars and we can get a nice, entertaining but smooth race. If I can jump back on that, it should be fun though. We'll see how it goes. I need to grab. Oh, no, I've got my water bottle here. Okay, I thought I left it downstairs, but I'm good because it is going to be a tough one for the voice on my own today. Let's get on the chat, see if anyone's lurking around. One of the admins is going, oh, got a spin there for Polishman is on lap. P40 not set a time yet for the number 29 driver. Cone Racing, I am subscribed, I promise, but it's not popping up in my feed. There we go. Cone T3. Admin's gonna have to change the title because I just quickly jumped on and forgot to preset it. Good evening, says Nathan. Hello. Leon says hello. Speaking of icon packs, he packed Vieri. He tried to make it sound like he's alright, but I don't know how I would do. Yeah, so these lot getting onto laps now. We'll get back on board with Indian Jesus, as he's usually one of the ones to be at the top, but after his mistake in his first lap, he'll be looking to recorrect it and get a delta down for his final run. He goes purple apparently in Sector 2, but I think everyone in there now's gone purple in Sector 2 in any tracks since like F1 2019. So we'll take that with a pinch of salt as he comes round the bendy end of the third sector, or start of the first sector, for the Mercedes driver. Takes a nice line there, takes a nice exit. You've got to use as much of that curve as you can. It's quite stable if you enter it at a nice angle. This one also you can take a lot more of, as he did later in the apex. Nice one there. You can sometimes jump over that, but it is a bit smoother on the traction coming out to not bump the car over, and he comes across the lap. And like I said, one of the ones to be at the top, and he is 130.9, just pinching it off Fandango. The only two to break into the 130s. Everyone else at the moment in the 131s. Some in the 132s, to be fair. Fandango still P2. Digweed has jumped up to P3, gapping Zenon by quite a few tenths as well. So that is the margin really, where these bunch of guys are going to have to find a bit of time to be competitive, because at the moment they're not. And Chug Spams takes a spin there, starting his lap in the first sector. It's quite a tricky call on that because you've really got to carry the pace as much as you can. It's a bit off camber, and it's just not made for these cars sometimes, especially if you're trying your best to go a low downforce setup, which is what you need most of the time when the straights are so long. So I reckon we'll see a bit of difference with that as well. Some people will be doing high wing setups just so they're stable and they get around the track, and I reckon there'll be a good few who will be doing low wing setups, and we'll see the difference when it comes to the race. We'll see it a bit in quali, but when we get to the DRS trains and people are gapping people even without DRS, we'll notice a big difference. But I think we'll notice it with spins as well, because a lot of people are going to be well, there's downsides to both of it. You've got the high downforce, which is pushing the tyres into the ground more. That's what the downforce does. The way the way the tyres work with F1 cars, obviously there's no tread, so there's no tread to kick into the ground to force any grip. But with the temperature that the F1 tyres sit at, they kind of melt into the cracks in the floor, cracks in the track. So that's where they find their lateral grip. So when you're pushing the car even more in with downforce, it's more wear on the tyres, higher temperature. He needs to get out the bloody way. Christ, yeah. Well, anyways, there's more downforce, pushing the tyres down even more wear. But you do get that extra bit of stability while the tyres are in their good zone. But if you have low downforce, you've got a lot less grip throughout cornering, especially in the lower speed ones, because that's when you can see the car kick out, because you've just got just no grip as you come around the corners. But it's going to be interesting because you will get less wear from that with lower downforce, because you're not putting as much load into the tyres as you're going through each apex and leaning the suspension on each side of the car. Yeah, well that's a little lesson in the tyres of F1. Still a few people to set laps at the moment. We got Mazel's. Oh, that was good timing. As I switched to him, jumped from P13 to P9. Not breaching the 31s, which is something I'm sure he'd like to do. Even breaking the 30s. Mazel's coming off some good form last night in HRL. He's very quick around Barcelona, so I expect he should be on good form. Hopefully, he can pull out some performances like he does in HRL, because he's rapid. He's racing me in HRL and stuff like that, and other Tier 1 drivers. So he's definitely got it in the bag. He's just got to pull it out. Trunders, Ashjay, these two quite often wait quite late on to set a lap. We've seen it a few weeks of my commentary. We got 19 drivers now, so everyone's in. Good shit. Apologies. It is good stuff, but not the first one I used. Wild Dog joins to make it 19. I think there's one more that has joined, but I'm not too sure which one it was. It might have been Ashjay or Trunders, actually. That's probably why they haven't set a lap yet, but I think that was Polish Man jumping up to P10 in the session. Not too bad. He's in the 31, so that's a good start for him, just coming in a bit later on. Indian Jesus still the provisional pole sitter at the moment with a 130.9. I think there's time for a lot of these drivers to get into the 130s like their higher competitors. Bailey Fox coming around now to finish his lap. I think it's not a very good lap. No, it might be actually. I got my timings wrong. Oh, he's just about picked his old lap time. Not really gained him too much into P4. Still a lot of time. He's going to have to get the car around. He should have enough time for a final lap, but it's going to be tight with the traffic and with how long an in-lap and out-lap is around France. It is a 130 lap on a good day, and then when you're on your in-laps and your out-laps, it's even longer because you've not got the battery and you've got to coast the car around, because you might even be low on fuel, but he should be alright. He should definitely have time to come and improve a bit more. Trunders now, he set his first at 138, so not a competitive time at all. He's definitely going to have to come back in like Bailey to get a more respectable lap time in. Wild Dog coming out of the pits now. Looks like this is going to be his one and only run, because he's left it quite late to come out. Obviously, I think he did join the session late. He's invalidated his out lap. Hopefully he doesn't do that on his run to his final lap, because he's not going to have any time to come back into the pits now. He's sealed his chances of getting another run in by coming out this late. So he's really under pressure to get a lap down. Not sure how much practice he would have had before the session started, so hopefully enough to keep him warm and up to pace. Probably going to be pushing the outlap a little bit, just so he can get warmed up. Victor being on an outlap now. I think we got the two up the front. Bailey coming into the pits. We've got Digweed coming around now to finish this lap. I think it is an improvement by the looks of it. We're coming out in the last corner with a 124, so he's got another 6 or 7 seconds to come down the straight, and can he do it to make a difference? And he does. He goes 2/10 pretty much quicker, but it doesn't gain him too much. Quick Killer has gone a 130.8. I've missed that, but he's absolutely smashed it. He's gone a 10th ahead of Indian Jesus to put himself on provisional pole, and it's going to be very hard for these lot to jump that now with the current form. These guys are sitting sweet on the 131s, They're not looking like they've got. They've not really shown anything to see that they can get into the 130s, but they've got one chance left to prove it, and I'm sure they will. Victor Mean coming around now for a lap as everyone's in the pits. So we'll just stick on with him now. Wild Dog's oh, Christ. What have you done, mate? Wild Dog retires, doesn't set a lap. I don't know how he's crashed out there. He's miles away from the corner. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Victor Mean. Still one of the last few to not set a lap. Coming around for the Alfa Romeo. Number 94. This will be his only lap as well. Like it would have been Wild Dog's. Because of the time he's come out, he's not going to have any time to get in the pits and get some fresh rubber on. So this is really crucial for him to jump him up. He's been having some issues with internet, so hopefully we can see a bit of difference in that today. As he's coming around, nice little apex there. Extends quite nice. You can take a bit more of the exit curb. Comes around here for the late apex. Doesn't clip it to not spin the back end of the car. Does it pretty nicely. Doesn't extend much with the exit curb as he comes around now, and it's quite scrappy. You can see him pushing up and down on the throttle, so you can tell he's gone in with a bit of too much caution, and he's come out thinking that you can put the throttle down a bit more, and he does, and it makes the car jitter a bit. So he comes across the line, and it's still a good lap to be fair. For P9, 131.7, so not too bad. That will be his best possible position, so you'll be hoping that these lot behind him don't jump too much on the deltas, because otherwise he is going to get pushed down without a chance to get a second punch in. We've got some now starting laps, it should be anyway. Zenon is, and he's just under a tenth quicker on his current time, so he's not doing too bad. But a Ferrari takes a very wide exit there, and you can tell he's stuttering a bit on the apex with the awkward line, and he has backed off from his lap. So there we go. I think he knows that he's taken a bit too much time out of his lap there to improve anymore. But Indian Jesus now coming across. He sets a 130.9, so no jumping up anywhere else. Quick Killer now setting a 104.6 for his last sector as he comes across the line now in sector 3. I think he's just starting his lap because he's got a full battery. What? I don't know what's going on here, because I think he's just starting because deltas are being a bit dodgy for me. Got an Alpha Tauri just behind. You can see him give him position safely there to the drivers starting their laps, which is good to see. Got a McLaren and I think that's a Williams just behind the provisional pole sitter of Quick Killer as he comes around in sector 2 now. Let's see how he can do. Seems like a pretty standard sector 1. We've got a few people right. Okay, I think this is glitched a bit. I don't know what's going on because all them flags just popped up simultaneously. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the session is okay. We can carry on. Quick Killer coming out in sector 2 now, and he's just over on his delta, so he's not improving much in the first and second sector. But who knows? Those two sectors might have been some of the best of the session. So maybe all this time is in the last sector. So we'll stick with him for now, and not jump off the bandwagon yet, and just give him a bit of time to see how he can do in the final sector. Comes around pretty cleanly. See how he does in the left hander now. A lot of the drivers have been struggling, but he takes it pretty cleanly as well. Not having to lift or jitter the car, taking too much or too little speed. Comes around the last corner now. Doesn't cross over to the right, which is probably the best thing to do. You exit at the left, so don't make any more time trying to go to the pit wall. And like I said, he might not have improved in the first 2 sectors, but he does in the final, just to make that little extension of his lead. And that could be the difference. We got a 130.832 for Indian Jesus and a 0.825 for Quick Killer, so it is very close. We'll stick with Indian Jesus now. Didn't see his delta times just before the best time popped up, so we'll see what happens with his lap. He hasn't invalidated this time. Oh, he's going very slow, so this is not. Was he going slow then, or was that just an audio glitch? No, he's finished, sorry. What am I on about? He's got bloody fucking checkered flag next to his name. Anyway. Right, that's it for quali. We've got Jerry in the pits now, and then Bailey. Bailey goes for P7 with a 131.3. So didn't improve on his time after sitting in P4, trying to jump up on the last lap or two. But that is it. That is the session over. Right, I'll tell you what. This is a good time now for me to test this little theory of joining the party. So I've got Bailey blocked. I'm gonna unblock him. Hello?
Hello.
How's the race? How's the race?
Good.
How's quali?
Fuck knows what that Polish man we're doing.
All right, all right. I am streaming. Remember that.
What?
What
You can
happened with
hear
Polish
me?
man? Yeah, that's
Right.
the whole point of me
Fucking.
doing this.
It's just well.
What did he do?
I don't know. He started racing me.
What, racing you in quali?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you reckon it's penalty worthy or quali ban
I
worthy?
don't know. I'm not bothered.
All right. What strategy do you think you're gonna do?
No clue.
I'm
Inshallah.
inshallah.
Yeah. No fuel.
No fuel.
Yeah. Safety cars. France, mate.
How many do you reckon? There's not many walls though.
3.
You reckon it's gonna be free safety cars?
Yep.
All right. When do you think the first one comes out?
Josh, leave me alone, please.
You agree to this? Right. Give me a sec. Let me block him. Right. There you go. So he got blocked apparently by Polish. He got blocked because apparently Polish man was racing him. So we'll see what the stewards think of that. But we're gonna go back into the race now. We're gonna have everyone on their formation laps, and we'll see what happens. I don't even know if his voice is on share. Hashtag Forza Code says Dragon on speed. Nice to see you. Everyone just picking their setups now. I'm not sure if the setup glitch is still a thing, with Park for maybe being turned off and all that. I'll have a sip, but I don't know. So maybe people are making a few changes, fuel and tires as well. Curious to see what people do. I reckon there'll be some mad lad on softs for some reason. There usually is. I can't see any just to my eye's view, but if I get the where is it, the tire thing on? No softs. Okay, so everyone's not been silly about it. We've got hards and mediums across the board. Quick Killer going for hards, Indian Jesus for mediums, Fandango down to Polish man on hards, Bailey chucking the mediums on, so we'll see how that goes. He's got the chance to make a few positions up, with the majority of them ahead being on hards, and he's also got the safety of the drivers behind being on hards also, so he's in a good little bit of limbo to try and gain some time there. Same with Trunders. He's got a few medium runners behind, but mostly hards also. Richie and IRT Connects being the ones behind on the mediums on the same strategy as him. We've got a spinner there from Quick Killer. I'm going to say it's tactical just to make him not look stupid. Just heating a tire. Oh, can you hear that? Oh, what is this glitch, man? Can you hear that, boys? Bloody audio glitch. When I'm streaming, I like to use the onboard camera for battles and stuff, and then navigate with this, but it's going to be doing this stupid audio glitch every time I do it, which is going to drive me up bloody wall, because it's the same thing on GT7, and it's crap. I mean, how much do these games cost? What, like 60 quid a pop? And they can't even bloody, like, make it with decent audio that works. Like, what's that? Do you hear that? Crap, honestly. Right, little rant over. Just a waiting game now. Just gotta wait for the race to start. There's not really too much to talk about. We went through a lot of it in the quali session. Had quite a few topics talked about, so should have saved some for this portion really, because this is the most boring part. No one's really laughing. You just got bloody Haas spinning off in the background when he's in P1, but he's in P20. Wait, no? No, it was a Quick Killer, sorry, not Wild Dog. Quick Killer should be starting pit lane, but you know, lucky in that. Ooh, forgot ghosting was a thing for a second after the pit wall. You can see how they're going to spin the rears out now just to try and get that little bit of burn into them. The fronts on the hards are usually the hardest to, no pun intended, to heat up, because even if you're just wiggling them constantly, They still take quite a while, but the rears are usually quite easy to get up. But they're the ones you need on the starts to be hot, so you can get that push off the line. But when it does come to the turn in a turn one, you're going to have to make sure those fronts are at a good temperature as well, so you're not understeering, especially if you're on the inside, even if you're on the outside, because it could force you off track if you don't get the tyres pumped up pretty quickly. But I think we're good to go now. We are. Have we got any lights? We do have lights. Let's get all this off. And the lights are out, and we've got the front roller, a quick killer, getting away really nicely on the hards. Unbelievably nicely, to be fair. We can see the Mercedes on the mediums taking a singular line. We can see all these lot getting a Ferrari pushing off a bit. Everything else seems to be a bit clean until we see an AlphaTauri in the far distance getting pushed off. But yeah, everything's looking okay for now. Set the tyre graphic off. And we'll just keep it to this. We've got some movement going on there. Looking a bit chaotic. Oh, big slide. Big slide for the Aston AlphaTauri. And it's not even AlphaTauri, I'm mumbling. Alfa Romeo, and he takes out his teammate, and a Ferrari also. We've got Wild Dog coming on to the outside. We've got the front runners getting very close as well, so we're going to have to jump to that in a minute. But these two are going to go side by side in the corner, which we need to see. Oh, what is that Ferrari in the front doing? Ferrari and McLaren absolutely battering each other going into that left-hander. Bailey getting up front of Polish man for P4. He's gone from P7 to P3. Jesus Christ. Quick killer gets done by Indian Jesus pretty early on. Obviously, he's on the medium, so the tyres are going to be much nicer. Oh! Polish man! By the looks of it, Polish man just understeered into Bailey. Bailey was pretty far onto the left of the track. I don't think there was much more room to give. And that puts him into a spin. Digweed into P4. Fandango following in 5th. Jesus Christ, that's a bit hectic, isn't it? Mazda's in P6, J. Art on P7. We got a penalty already for IRT Connect. So what on earth has he done to get that? Got 5 seconds already. How's he done that? Must have cut a corner in the battle he had going into that left-hander. Wow, this has been a bit mental start. Let's get on YouTube, see if there's any comments. Miami, I don't want to go Miami. I murdered someone, I don't really remember it. Polish man getting sent into a spin again. I don't know if it was by himself. I don't think it was by himself, because that guy Draper has also spun around behind him. So, well, we'll see what happens there. Wild Dog in P12. Let's see who's made the jumps up. There you can see who's made the jumps up. We've got a few people making big ones. We've got some people making big tang grades as well. Especially Polish man dropping 12 positions all the way down to P18. But apart from that, it's looking to stable out now. We've got a few people on the back of other drivers, but not close enough to be making moves. Apart from Le Felon, but no, it's not down to hard racing. It's down to a spin, and he's gone around in the left-hander, going into the 3rd sector. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Get that off now. Don't need that. Right, yeah, all stable out now. Ooh, Trunder's taking a spin in P14. Don't tell me G Hartnell has as well. No, just a move from Chuck Spams on the Red Bull driver as Indian Jesus sets the fastest lap. Obviously jumping, quick killer, and taking away the chance of DRS as well on the medium. So he's making advantage of his advantage, so to say, with the mediums compared to the hard tyres. So he's not falling short on that order, but Bailey's doing well as well on the mediums, but he's going to have to try and do the same with Indian Jesus in in P1. When he's got quick killer ahead on the hards, he's going to have to try and get an advantage, because when it does come to the pit phase, if there isn't any safety cars, that heat up is going to be quite annoying when you're getting off the mediums. It'll be a bit nicer if you're going onto the mediums, because it takes less time and the rubber's a bit softer than the harder compound as per their name. Trunder's going around again. Not a great start. Not too much going on now. We've got Bailey holding on the back. There is going to be DRS this lap, as there already was in the past few straights. Let's just see how he does though. I don't think there's much more going on behind. IT Connect is getting close to J Hartnell, although he has his penalty. Oh, I think Drake trundles around again. Not a good day for him. He's on the verge of being pretty much half a lap down now to the rest of the grid. There is gaps in the front, well, the middle pack, but I think still holding at a decent pace compared to the front runners. We've just got sorry about that. We've got Indian Jesus still putting a bit of a gap. Bailey coming up, still just a bit short of making the move on the main straight. If he is going to make a move, this will be the straight to do it, really. It's a bit longer, and it's just you get a nicer run to take advantage of the driver ahead of you, like he does here. Sorry about the short break there. I was just sorting something out. It's fine. I would have liked to have two people on commentary, but I don't. I don't have that privilege tonight, so we're just gonna have to try and get through it on my own. Ooh, yellow flags. Hello, right, sorry about that, boys. Did unexpectedly, but I'm back now, so hopefully we can just get on with it and have a decent race now. Jonas is out, so I'm guessing that's in the pits, because it hasn't pulled out a safety car, which I expect it would. Ooh, Quick Killer and Bailey going side by side. Bailey getting the better of him. IT Connect's the only one to be in the penalties at the moment, with the collision in the second sector. No, I'm wrong actually. Draper has pulled up a penalty as well. I guess it'll be a 3 second. It might even be a 5 because of pits. It does look like he's on new tyres, and it is, so I'm guessing that is a pit related penalty. Let's see what's going on now. We've got Jay Hartnell close to the back of Chokesman. There's two McLaren drivers getting close to each other. Sorry again, guys. I really didn't plan on this happening, but I meant to take a few minutes to speak to family. Yo, yellow flags. Is that Drake butt? No, it's not. It's his teammate. Victor Mean taking a little bit of a mishap there, making... Oh, no! Wait. Was that Richie? Yellow flags again. Oh, we catch Victor Mean in the spin. Well, multiple spins. What's he doing there? I think he's trying to recorrect the car, but didn't work to how he planned. Bowser Fox is just trying to breach the DRS chain of Indian Jesus, but it's still quite far out of that. 2 tenths out. He's got Quick Killer in his DRS. He's going to be having pressure from him also. Right. My extreme apology, guys. Bloody hell. Not how I planned to do this, but we're back now. I should be back for good. I apologise for the breaks of no commentary and just sticking on one driver. Wow, we had a few crash outs since I've been gone. We got Wild Dog, Victor Mean, and Jerry. It was Trunders before I left that are just the only ones to be out. But it doesn't look like we've had any safety cars, which is quite interesting with that many DNFs. So I wonder if some of them were in the pits. Oh, we got yellows. We got Polish man taking a spin there in turn one. We've seen a few people do that. Yeah, once again, guys, my apologies. I had to dip real quick, but well, not real quick because I was away for a good few laps, but I'm back now and we should be good. Indian Jesus is in P1 at the moment, and he's coming in the pit. So we did say he was on the mediums, him and a few others. So he's in the pits now with Bailey Fox. IT connects its 3-second penalty for warnings. Quick Killer will be staying out, obviously, being on the hard compounded tyres. Got a bit of a queue behind him. Let's see how Indian Jesus and Bailey Fox do coming out the pits. So they've still got quite a bit of a run. It's such a long pit exit in France. It's quite annoying to do, to be honest. As then coming around, looking to jump past the two of them. Don't think he's going to... Ooh, it's going to be close, actually. No, it's not going to be close at all. Indian Jesus comes out just behind them. They're going to be on the hard tyres. They're going to have really cold turn in as they've got these few coming ahead of them. The yellow flags there for an Alpha Tower for Romeo, sorry. I think it is that guy Draper who is unfortunately pretty much lapped at this point if he does need to pit again, which I expect he probably will do. Bailey Fox holding ahead of these lot, but they are going to have the... Ooh, Ashjay spins. Ashjay on the hards also, although they're not as cold as Bailey's, they have taken detriment having a spin there in the right-hander. Oh, I thought Jay Hartman was going to do the same now the way his steering was going, but he doesn't. Seems to be okay for now. Has there been much changes since I've been gone in positions? So we've had a few people do their stops now. A lot of these haven't, obviously starting on the hards. There's not been a safety car by the looks of it, so they're looking okay to go on from hard to medium. If there is a safety car at any point now, is that going to pull one out? I don't think it will. It's just a spin. A lot of people are really struggling tonight. I think it's just a spin, so it's not going to pull much out. Digweed starting to go ahead now on the pass there. Digweed on hard, same as Quick Killer. None of them are fitted, obviously, so this is on pure pace at the moment. Fandango holding just behind it, and then there's a little bit of gap then down to Mazel holding P4 at the moment, only yet to stop. If the safety car did come out now, I think they'd be struggle some on the mediums, but I think they'd be alright if they did a few laps behind the safety car. That'd be interesting. I don't think any of the newly pit stops hard runners will be looking for a safety car. They'll be looking to go to the end now, because if there is a safety car anytime soon, or even later, it's definitely going to force a change of tyre, because it's not going to be long enough for the hards to take any advantage. Bailey Fox struggling there, coming around the corners, just with a little bit of grip there, so maybe those hard tyres aren't fully at the pace yet. Zenin getting past, Indian Jesus still getting past Zenin there. Bailey Fox was so close to Indian Jesus coming into the pits, it looked, but now there's quite a gap in between the two of them, involving a car also of Zenin. Zenin not pitting, so he's on his first set of hards, so he's going to be quite far behind from the leaders when it does come to their rounds of stops. But look at these guys, really close now. I'm just wondering when one of them's going to peel off into the pits, and if any's going to follow. But at the moment, they're all holding pretty decent pace for the top three. All these at the back just holding pretty similar gaps now. You've got Ashjay getting close. Ooh, and that's Draper again. Have another spin, and he's getting another spin there. A bit not very patient on the tyres when it comes to getting them going. He almost impedes the McLaren, but doesn't do it enough so, as he is ghosting as well, so nothing to worry about there. Everyone's just holding gaps now. I'm just curious to when these lot do inside the pit. The mediums, obviously they've done about 12 laps for the guys who started on him, but that is a high fuel, so I wonder if they plan to take him a bit longer as the fuel runs down. Oh no. Oh no! Massive incident between Fandango. No. Was it Fandango? I don't think it was. I think it was Digweed, Quick Killer. It was Fandango, Digweed and Mazzles. Oh no, that is not good. Which one of them lost the wing? I think it was... Who was it? Oh, it was Fandango. So Fandango loses the wing being behind the two of them as they made contact. And there could be rear wing damage for one of the two, but that is massive for the race. That's massive for the hard runners. Well, massive for the ones who started on mediums and are now on the hards, because these guys are going to have to pit, and Fandango's going to have to pit prematurely by the looks of it with his damage. The Haas coming in behind him, but the other two staying out. Doesn't get a penalty even though he's got the damage, so he comes in okay. But that's going to cost him a bit of time there, getting that wing removed and replaced. Digweed taking P1 now. I'll be honest, I was quite shocked with that incident, but I didn't even realise who it... Oh my god. Christ alive. I thought he was going to get killed then, but he didn't. I'm not too sure who was doing what. Let me go onto the stream and take a look. Just recap my mind and I'll chuck you on a close battle for position. Ooh, look at this. Quick, ooh, just coming out behind Gautier Fallon. We've seen that before with the Ferrari coming in front out of the pits. Not too long ago with Zenon doing the same with Bailey Fox also. Quick Killer, sorry, I think it was. No, Quick Killer's there, it was Indian Jesus who had pitted, and the Ferrari came out just ahead of him also. That was tricky. Right, let's have a look back at the stream, see what happened. Right, I'm at it now. Just looking at the replay. So it was Digweed ahead, Quick Killer in P2. Quick Killer hits Digweed, and then in the calamities collects Fandango in the rear. Takes off his front wing. That is really unlucky for Fandango. I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about that, having to pit prematurely to what he ideally would have wanted to. But everyone is still on track and alive, luckily, from that. As we see Digweed the first to peel off between the two teammates. Obviously they can't pit on the same lap, or one of them will lose a lot of time, and that would have been Mazel in this case. But now he's got a fresh track ahead of him to carry on and then decide when he wants to pit. I expect it'll be next lap to stop any chance of an undercut with the fresh mediums going on. They'll be nice to heat up. Got Zenon coming in as well. Indian Jesus overtaken now for P2. It's provisional P1 pretty much, with Miles being 10 seconds ahead. He's not going to have enough time to stay in P1 after Indian Jesus comes around the corner while he's getting his tyres swapped. So that is the end of his P1 run for now. Look at this, Jay Hartnell very close to Chuck Spam. Chuck Spam's trying to hang it around the outside, but you can't really do that when the tyres are on 70 degrees, and you can see the difference there as Fandango on the fresh tyres, hotter tyres coming around to take a simple P8 at the moment. Not what he would want to be in P8, but it's what he is, and he's going to have to take it for now until stewards get their say on what happened. Penalties, but Bailey in P3 at the moment. He is on the hards, same as same as Indian Jesus, sorry. The ones who started on the mediums at the front. Well, got to the front and then jumped on them for the undercut, and they seem to be doing okay. Obviously Mazel's yet to pit, so it is P1 and P2 for these two at the moment. Quick Killer in P4 at the moment, provisional P3 with the medium tyre. So he will have an advantage on these lot as he tries to gain, but it's quite a big difference now. 6 seconds after getting held up in that little bit of a calamity on the off-camber apex in the second sector. Apart from that, everyone looking to be doing a balancing act with the deltas. Not too much else to be said. Coming to the pits now is Mazel Jay Hartnell, looking to make moves on the pitting drivers also. Digweed, look at that, he's just ahead of Mazel's. Mazel's was the one who pitted a lap later, so his tyres are cold and he's going to get gapped, unfortunately, out of DRS because of that. But there wasn't much you could do. It was either pit behind your teammate and then get held up, not be able to fight your teammate, and still be behind, or take the risk and go the next lap. And it's not paid off, unfortunately, with the colder tyres. Wonder if Jake Hartnell can make an advantage on it through these corners. He has got pressure from behind of Fandango and Chugspan. We do know Fandango's got the pace to be miles ahead of these drivers just in front of him, but unfortunately a incident has pushed him behind them. Quick killer right on the rear of Digweed now. Digweed only pitting last lap. Let's have a look at the tyre life. Oh, it's already there, never mind. We've got 2 laps for mediums on Quick killer. Obviously Mazel's just coming out for his first lap, so it will pay dividends at the end of the race. We'll see a bit of a delta change and pace change with the fresh tyres as we go on, especially against Quick killer, who is 2 laps older. Jay Hartnell's 7 laps old medium, so I guarantee those won't be making it to the end, and if they do, they'll be on very thin ice. We'd only been on them for 1 lap, and then Indian Jews and Bailey sitting on 6 and 5 laps for the hards. Not too much worry about how they're going to get to the end. I think they'll be doing it pretty easily. Fastest lap for Digweed, not too bad on the mediums. Still got the pressure from behind of Quick killer, but not doing too bad at the moment. Still in the second range, but he's derating. You can see the red flashing light of Digweed. Quick killer will be looking at that and licking his lips if he's got enough battery to do so and make the move. But we can see from his steering input, he's got about 20-25% himself, so he's not too far off the point of where Digweed is when it comes to the ERS system. So I don't know if he's going to make a move anytime soon, but he has still not derated. He's above 10% still, even after using. So he has got that little bit of advantage throughout the laps as they both start to save. Mazel's creeping up 2.5 to 2.3 at 2.2. Just in one corner there, as we can see the fresher mediums making a bit of an advantage, although it be minimal at the moment. Jay Hartnell on the 8 lap of mediums, like I said, getting pressured because of that from Fandango. Not only is Fandango's pace shown to be upper compared to the drivers he's currently racing, but he's also got the tyre advantage. Look at that, absolutely, it's just very jittery there from the Red Bull, having to recorrect his speed as he's coming around the corner, which throws off Danny a bit, Fandango, but holds it well. I'm sure he'll be going for a move pretty soon. They are both derating. I think Chugspan's might also be. I'm not too sure, I can't really see from his thing, but we will see how that goes. Oh no! Danny's hit the wall, he's spun out of the rear in the final corner, and that's unfortunate. I'm not too sure if he took any wind damage. Doesn't look like he did. Let's be safe on that part. Jay Hartnell getting a bit of wobble there as well. But yeah, that is very annoying for Fandango after getting so unlucky initially. Now it's down to his own error that he's spun and gone back even further. But it just does look like P1 and P2 are clear at the moment. Digweed, we'll keep an eye on that delta. He is at 3.6. We'll see if it does start to come down, but I'm not sure it will. And even if it does, we've got penalties to worry about between the drivers looking to chase the front two. Quick killer is right behind him now though. Got a little bit more battery. Is he going to use triangle here? He is. Personally, I recommend saving it and just trying to get that little bit more of an advantage onto a DRS straight than to make the move guaranteed here, because he hasn't guaranteed it here. He's took the risk and it's not paid off. Ooh, it might actually do as he comes round. Ooh, little bit of wheel banging as they come round at different trajectories of the corner. And it looks like Digweed just holds him off for another lap. We'll see how long that lasts for him. Mazels, you can see him just creeping up. He is dropping time to them as they are battling, which is going to fall right into his lap if they keep doing so, which they pretty much are. They're getting very close between the two of them. I think there's going to be a move made here. It's not a place you ideally want to make it, but if you've got to do it, you've got to. And he does do it. Takes a nice apex, to be fair. Swings it out nicely to not lose too much time onto this little short straight. And he makes the move pretty nicely. Well done to Quick killer. Now Digweed's got to stick with him now. And Digweed's got to worry about Mazel behind his teammate, because Mazel's been holding good pace. He was behind him on the last stint as well, but it looks like Mazel is holding a bit of a better pace at the moment. Digweed has had the advantage of the DRS pulling in. No, he hasn't actually, because Digweed's only just been overtaken. So it's pretty similar, but if he is going to be looking to battle with the Haas even more, it is going to really play into Mazel's hands. Yeah, I think we just have to stick with these. There's not much else going on. The gaps are quite vast. We've got yellow flags for an AlphaTauri. That might be Fandango again. I think it is unfortunate for him. Very close now in the same spot where Quick Killer tried to make the move on Digweed. You can see the difference of line people are taking in this these few corners and how much it can impact the positions, but it seems to be okay sitting in the same position, coming out and he did in. Mazel's dropping a bit of time now. As you can see, they're not battling much in front of him compared to how they was the lap before, so maybe that gain in time was a bit synthetic and not really how his pace was perceiving it. But Jay Hartman into pits now. Obviously those mediums were never going to go to the end, so it makes sense for him to pit now. Digweed very close again onto Quick Killer. I think this is just going to be the story of the last 7 laps now. It's just all about picking your time to do it. I don't usually get the telemetry on, but we'll get it on for this just so we can give you a bit of an insight to what's going on. So Mazel is sitting on a bit of a nicer battery than the other two. The other two are close to derating. I mean, Digweed is derating. He's really pushing the battery, and I think he needs to just hold off and wait for the last few laps. He needs to be saving the battery now until the last lap or two, and then decide to make his move when he's got that advantage and he can make it stick. Because if he takes a move now, it gives the Haas a chance to sit behind and just build the battery up until the last lap or two, and then make the move, and it gives you less of a time to clap back because you'll be using your battery to defend the move. And if you do get overtaken, you've not got much of a hand to play when it comes to a second punch back to the driver that's just done you. So I think a bit of patience is needed from whoever it is behind in the battle to just hold off and play the waiting game, get the battery kicked up, and use it when it's necessary. Mazel's dropping the gap a bit, but I think it was a bit more battling from the front too. Mazel is sitting on a nicer battery, so if he does catch up, he's gonna use a play in the final podium spot. You can see Digweed going ahead now. Almost contact between front left and rear right of the Alpine there from Quick Killer on the inside, but it doesn't now. Digweed is ahead, but the battery is significantly lower, than... Ooh, oh no, Quick Killer gets another penalty. I'm not too sure what the penalties are for. He's wobbling a bit as well. He's not going to drop out of DRS, is he? That would be climatic from him. No, he doesn't. He's still in. Bit of a lifeline. Oh, but it does bring Mazel into the fold. Mazel is now in the challenge, not with penalties, so ideally he can just sit behind and take that P3 spot. But everyone's a racer in this league, and I think everyone would like to do a bit of that every so often, not just sit in a queue. So we'll see what happens there. Yellow flags, and it is for Fandango as he's had another spin. Not a good day in the office for him. Yeah, Mazel needs to stick with him now as he goes along. Maybe I'm wrong and Diggy has made the right choice, because he does have fresher tyres than Quick Killer. Although it only be 1 lap, it could make the difference when it comes into those last few laps. The tyre degradation is already on limit as it is around France, and with the extra bit of battling as you're going around is not going to help at all, and just having that 1 lap fresher set could be the difference, as it looks like it is being at the moment. He is gapping even on the DRS straight. DRS has not yet been enabled when I did say that, but still he's still gapping a decent amount even when he has got the DRS turned on, which... Ooh. Polish man taking another spin. Yeah, these front... Ooh, and this, yeah, Fandango also. Wouldn't be surprised to see another retirement in pits from one of these few pretty soon, but yeah, it's been a lucky day for some drivers, a lucky day for some. But yeah, these two front two have just been absolutely different version on this compound. Just gapping and making sure they're on their own. There was not many who started on medium, took the risk, but they didn't. It's just, it has paid off because they've not been battling with anyone. Pitting early, just getting a bit of free road and getting on with the last stint now. consistent pace as they're holding consistent pace between each other. So it would have been interesting to see them be a bit closer as they came out the pits, but there was a wedge in between them. Yeah, now we can see Mazzles has lost that bit of battery. You can see he's used a bit to stick with the guys ahead. He's right on the edge of the DRS marker, but it's not going to matter anymore because the Haas has made a mistake, and now he's back in it for definite. But Digweed has got away. Digweed has got away by the looks of it. 1.5 second gap now, so we need to just take a nice, calm drive now all the way down to lap 27, and he should be okay for. Well, I say he should be okay for the podium on track, but penalties galore with between him and Quick Killer, so Mazzles just needs to stick within the penalty range of however much. Oh no, Quick Killer's had a spin, and that is on the medium tyres, maybe overheating, but that is him out of chances for a podium. Mazzles looking good now as he tries to catch up his teammate. He'll be on pure pace now. They're on similar tyre weight, only one lap of difference, same compound, same team, so no one's got the advantage of DRS, so it'll just be purely on pace, whether Mazzles decides to catch up Digweed or just hold the standard pace and take him on penalties. That'll be up to him, and we'll wait until the end of the race to see what he chooses. Yeah, not doing too bad there. Opium Richie getting close to Gautier Lafellon. He's on 12 lap all hards, but Lafellon is on 7 lap all mediums, which is probably the point where, well, there's a few more laps in them before they completely blow out, but they will be struggling a little bit with temps with that much wear. You can see the advantage on the straight with the DRS for the Mercedes onto the Ferrari. Keeps his position there. Doesn't worry about the Mercedes too much. We're going to flags again, and that is for Quick Killer. Quick Killer taking another spin. Once you get one, it's easy to lose focus and take another, as we've seen with a few drivers today. I see a few, probably quite a handful of them, from the ones who have DNF to some who are still on track. But yeah, Mazzles looking sweet at the moment, because the minimum penalty Digweed can have is a 3 seconds, so as long as he can stay within that, he should be good on Q. That's it, let's have a look. Yeah, 3 seconds, so he's right on that breach. So it is competitive actually for Digweed. I thought Digweed was on 6, but it was a competitive Quick Killer who's on 6. So Mazzles has really got to hold pace now with Digweed, because he's in, but he's not in by much. All it takes is one mistake from Mazzles, and he was pushed out of that, just like Quick Killer was in the last sector. His podium spot is well open for a change. Mazzles is gaining a little bit in this sector. He seems to be quite fast around here. He's got the battery on him as well. I think he just needs to save, hold a good pace, and then on that last lap, when he's got that biggest tyre advantage, because that'll be when Mazzles will be quickest against Digweed, is when Digweed's tyres are that lap older and at the very last point of the race. So he needs to take advantage of that. It's close though. Look at the gap. I mean, it's going from 2.3 to 2.7, back up to 2.6. It's really hovering between that fine margin. So we'll see what happens. Not penalties now. Gautier Fellon not looking to make any gains on the penalties, but could have been some shake-ups if the pack was a bit more secluded, but quite stretched out across the grid now. This is close. This is very close. Going on to the final 2 laps now. Apart from that, everyone's stretched out. I mean, even these two focusing on are really stretched out, and they've just got stretched out to the biggest point we've seen since being behind each other. 2.8 the gap now, down to 2.7. It's very close. We've got a whole another lap of this until we can see who takes the podium. It's going to be really tight. Is Digweed going to get... Now this is a big difference now. If Digweed catches Bazza Fox, he's going to get the DRS. He's not going to be able to get the position because he's got 3 seconds. But if he does get the DRS, that is massive for him. And unfortunately, a big L for Mazzles, because he's not going to be able to hold the pace of a car who has the advantage of DRS. No chance. Even with the lap tyre advantage, this last sector is really going to be crucial for Digweed. He's going to be clawing for it off the back of the Red Bull. I don't think he's going to get it. Ooh, he's dropped at half a tenth. Going back up though. I think the hards are just a bit nicer in this last sector when it comes to temps. Ooh, it's right on the edge, but it's jumped back up, and I don't think he's got it. He's pushing though, you can tell he's pushing to get into it. Mazel's having a pretty standard final sector, pretty much matching Digweed, dropping maybe a tenth or two, but he's right on that fine margin going for the last corner. Oh, and he's in! Digweed's in. This is going to ruin the spectacle of the final lap. Digweed is in for the DRS, and you can tell he's pushing. Bailey needs to push him out if we want to see something fun going to the final lap, but I don't think we are. Digweed's had a pretty good final few corners of the first sector. Oh, and that is a horror sight for Mazzles. If you can see the delta difference between him and Bailey and Digweed. He's still in, no, he is still in, but that gap is going to... You can see it jumping, he's getting that bit of an advantage, and we saw that Digweed was better in the final sector. Oh, oh, God, this is too close. Mazzle's holding his own though, wow. Really holding his own on Digweed. Oh, wow. Maybe this is a bit of a disadvantage now for Digweed, having that dirty air in the last sector. I mean, he pushes hardest to get that advantage of DRS. It didn't make too much a difference. And now the dirty air could be the opposite. Oh, it's so close. It's so bloody close. Mazzles is sending it, you can tell. Oh, he's going to have DRS. No. I'm turning off the deltas. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. Who takes the win? Who takes the P3? Sorry. And Mazzles just skims it. Oh my God, he just skims it. What a drive from Mazzles. Wow, those last two laps were quite something. Jesus Christ. Digweed will be horrified that he didn't get that P3. Oh wow. I mean, for the whole race, Mazzles was just sitting behind, playing the patient game. Even from when that incident in Sector 2 between the top provisional three, you could just tell he was holding back and just waiting for something like that to happen, and it did, and he took advantage, and he held the pace even though, wow, what a race between those lot. Indy just takes, I mean, Indy just takes the win, by the way. We've been focusing on the battle for P3 so much that we just forgot to care about Indy Jesus and Bather Fox taking the top two steps, but no, that was brilliant. Brilliant from them too. Brilliant from Mazzles also. Digweed, very unfortunate. I don't think there's much he could do. He had the older tyre. He had the left battery. It was all piled against him with Mazzles creeping up to him, but that was absolutely brilliant. And I can't wait for those two to be able to watch that fight. Oh wow. Right, guys. Yeah, apologies for the breaks in the commentary. I had to go help the family out with something, which I didn't preempt would happen. So apart from that, I'm glad we got it back on the rails though. I had a good bit of fun. Indian Jesus takes P1, Bather Fox takes P2, Mazzles P3, Digweed P4, with Chugs rounding out the top 5, 3 Brits in between one another. Zenon taking P6 after his win in Saudi, Jay Hart on P7, Gautier Lefel on P8, P9 and 10 is rounded up by Richie and Ashjay. Fandango unluckily in P11 after his unfortunate collision and then his own spins afterwards. Maybe just a lack of composure after the fact that he got so hard done by. Quick Killer in P12, Polishman P13, sorry, and IRT connects in P14, the last of the finishers. Then we've got the DNFs of Draper, Wild Dog, Victorine, Reorden, and then earliest Trunders. Let's get the incidents out just so if anyone needs a race directory that forgets to pick it up. I always do that just so they have it on hand. There we go. I think that is all it. I'm not going to do... no, I'm not going to do interviews. I'm going to have to dip. Sorry, guys. But thank you all for watching. Sorry again for the breaks in the stream. But what a race. Brilliant from all of them. Indian Jesus, Bather Fox, League of their own at the moment. in this on the current form of this race. Mazel's absolutely brilliant drive for P3. Digweed, very unfortunate. His drive was just as good, going to P4. Started at P4 and finished P4, so not a bad day at the office, but definitely could have got more. So yeah, that rounds out the podium, and I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 races, and Tier 4 is live right now probably, so go and jump to that, and then we'll see you next week or so. Goodbye. Good night.